Hello and welcome back. Welcome to video 6, tips for living a rose-tinted life. So we now know the massive benefits of living a rose-tinted life, both spiritually and in everyday life. We also understand how to make sure that positivity is being channeled in the right direction if we're struggling by using the 3 specs process. So how do we do it? How do we lift our vibrations so we feel good and put out good vibrations into the universe? I have a few tips to share here today. Obviously I don't want these videos to go on for too long, so I'm just going to give a few tips, but this is what I'm going to be doing in my Facebook community, my Facebook page, my Instagram. I'm just going to be giving loads of tips and loads of content that's going to make you happy. So yes, some high vibration raising content. That sounds quite good, doesn't it? So yes, this is just for now a few tips just to kind of get you started really. Firstly, and most importantly, what this is all about is being constantly aware of your thoughts. Your thoughts affect your emotions and their moods, and often they just float around without you even knowing about it. So it's just being conscious all the time of what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and making it your mission to know that when your thoughts start to slip and start to feel negative, boost them up. Think about something good. Do something to distract yourself. Boost your thoughts back up, and with it, your emotions will follow. Be especially vigilant of the mean thoughts, especially mean thoughts about yourself, because they're really, really damaging. So you definitely need to kick those out. One tip I have, which is a bit of a weird tip, but it's for boosting confidence and self-esteem, and it works for me, is by naming the 2 voices in your head. You've got 2 voices in your head, don't you? Some saying, go for it, you can do this, you're amazing. And the other voices kind of going, no, you're rubbish, you're silly, you can't do this, don't even try. So name those voices. I call my voices Barbara and Beyonce. Barbara is a negative voice and Beyonce is the positive voice. Sorry for any Barbaras watching this. There's nothing at all wrong with the name Barbara. It's a great name. In fact, it's an amazing name at the minute because the Barbie film's out and it's really big. So Barbara is actually the name to be called at the minute. So there's nothing wrong with being called Barbara. So don't let that lower your self-esteem. It's just a name that popped into my head really, Barbara and Beyonce. So when you hear the mean voice starting to put you down, maybe saying you can't do this, you're ugly, you're stupid, all the horrible things that it might say, just shout stop. Obviously if you're out in public, you'll have to say this in your head, or you might say it out loud if you want, but you might look a bit silly. But yeah, go for it if that's what you want to do. Or if you're at home, just shout the word stop. I think there's a lot of power in the word stop. It's the only word that will actually stop my dog. So Coco, if he gets off his lead and runs off, which he does a lot, or he runs out the house, you can go, Coco, come back, and he doesn't, but he shouts, stop. He just stops in his tracks. It's really bizarre. So it must be a good word to stop what's happening. So use the word stop. So shout it out, or shout it out in your head, stop. Then welcome in that positive voice and channel all the good feelings and all the confidence from Beyonce. So for me, it's Beyonce. For obvious reasons, I suppose. Beyonce is very confident, she appears to be. In fact, that's you. Those good thoughts are actually the real you. The negative thoughts are the imposter. The negative thoughts are the mind or the ego. Those good thoughts is that source energy coming through. So that's the real you, those good thoughts. But I think naming it kind of helps. One example I can give that works for me every single time. I'm quite rubbish at parking. If I go to the supermarket and maybe it's busy and there's not many parking spaces, I'm not very good at angling the car to get in. Sometimes when I have Barbara in my head, I'll try and then try and then try, and I'm in and out and in and out and in and out, and then I just drive off and feel really silly. And that's Barbara. And Barbara's saying, you're not going to get in there, you're not going to do it. So I'm all stressed and jittery and thinking, I'm not going to do this, I can't park here. So I don't. So what I do now immediately, if I need to get myself into a tight parking space, is channel Beyonce. And I make a conscious decision to do that. I think, right, channel Beyonce. What would Beyonce do? And she would think, she'd just go for it, wouldn't she? She'd be like, of course I can get in here. Just watch me, Barbara. And it works. It actually works. Every single time I do it, I'll just go and get into the parking spot. It's absolutely amazing without any struggle, any stress. So obviously I can do it. It's just that voice telling me that I can't do it. So I channel my Beyonce voice. I'm in there. It's amazing. It really, really is. It's like a bit weird, I suppose, isn't it? Having different voices in your head, but it works. So that's one to definitely try if you struggle with your confidence. Exercise, that's a massive thing for me. When I don't exercise, I feel a lot more low and a bit more down. I think with exercise, it's finding the right one for you, isn't it? If it's something you don't want to do, like for me, going for a run, I don't like running at all. So I'd be like, oh, and I wouldn't want to go. And then when I went, I'd be a bit grumpy about going. So it's finding the exercise that you actually enjoy, that's right for your body and right for you. Because exercise really does release feel-good hormones and endorphins. It naturally boosts your mood. It makes you feel fitter, and it just makes you feel really good. But yeah, find something that you love, because if it's something you don't enjoy, you won't want to do it. For me at the minute, it's yoga. I'm doing yoga most days, and I'm loving my yoga at the minute. I used to do it years ago, then I stopped doing it for quite a long time. I don't know why, but we got back into it this January, February. Me and my husband, when we were feeling a bit low, and you know, like you do in January, February, we thought we'll try and do some yoga, and I got really back into it. And I just do it here. I've just got a YouTube video. I do it, Adrienne, Yoga with Adrienne. She's amazing. She's got so many videos free on YouTube, so you can just follow that and do it that way. And it's easy. You don't have to get changed. You don't have to go out in the cold. It's easy to motivate yourself when you do it at home, I find. But some people prefer to get out and about to exercise because it's the social aspect as well, isn't it? But I like to do it at home, and I don't have to leave the house. So yeah, that's my exercise. Read positive books. This does it for me every single time. Like I said before, I must have like hundreds of these like positive, spiritual, self-development books, positivity books. And every time I get in a low mood that I can't shift, I go to one of my books. I know the one to go to now because I've got that many of them, and I know what they're all about and how they can help me. I go to the right book, read it, 5 or 10 minutes, I've lifted up again. They really, really work if you find the right books. And again, in my community group and on my social media, I'll be sharing and recommending books that have really helped me. So follow me on there and you'll be able to get some recommendations. Time in nature. This is a big thing. Research shows people who are more connected with nature tend to be happier in life in general. Nature is beautiful. Nature is really uncomplicated. It's really simple. Trees know what they're doing, don't they? They don't get tangled up like we do. We have these minds and these egos that get us all tangled up. Trees don't hate themselves. Trees don't hate other people. Trees aren't stuck making decisions. They just go with the flow, don't they? In spring, the buds come out. In summer, they turn into leaves. In autumn, the leaves turn orange, and then in winter, they drop off. It just does the same thing every year. There's no mix up there, no mental stress. They just get on with it, don't they? And I think there's something really comforting about that. That source energy that flows through us, but often gets blocked by our mind, is just flowing through nature. It's flowing through trees, it's flowing through flowers. Nothing's blocking it, nothing's stopping it. So I think being around that energy is really, really good for us. And it does uplift you, it does make you feel quite calm and very calm and very peaceful, I find. If you don't live in the country, maybe just buy some plants and spend some time with plants. I've got a flower there on my windowsill. I got that for my birthday from my dad. It's some lilies, and it's beautiful. And every time I look at them, I just think, oh, they're so beautiful, and they smell so good. I can smell it all the way upstairs. So just get some houseplants. It's still nature, isn't it? It does the same thing. But just spend a bit of time with it, looking at it, stroking it, smelling it. The flowers are just so lovely. I think flowers in general uplift you, don't they? Just even looking at pictures of flowers, because they're just stunning, aren't they? And you always think, how can that have happened by accident? There must be some kind of amazing creator that would make all these flowers that are all so different, so bright, so beautiful, smell so good. One of my favourite quotes is, "The earth laughs in flowers." I don't know who said it, but I just love that. The earth laughs in flowers. Like the joy from the universe bursting through the plant and coming out as a flower. So make the most of them, because they're here to brighten us. And they're here for the bees too, but they're here to cheer us up. Laughing is one of the best feelings there is. Have a good sense of humour and find the funny things in life and the funny things in bad situations, because it helps you get through it, doesn't it? Spend time with people who you know make you laugh, friends or family members, or just watch TV programmes or films that you know are funny, because that can lift you up as well. Like for me, Friends, I can watch Friends again and again. If I ever feel a bit, you watch your Friends, it just lifts you up. That got me and Poppy through lockdown. We watched every single season of Friends, me and Poppy, and we loved it, and it just cheered us up from the miserable lockdowny days. Friends, watch Friends, that'll cheer you up. Avoid the news as much as you can. I think often we feel a responsibility, don't we, to know what's going on in the world. But the thing is, it doesn't help. So if you know about all these awful things that are happening in the world, it doesn't help the situation. The situation will still be there. So there's no point really you watching it. That might sound harsh, but it's true. There's no point you watching it because you can't do anything about it. It just brings you down. The way you can make a difference in the world is by putting on your rose-tinted glasses, being kind to people, showing people love, showing people respect, being happy and excited and sparkly and all those positive emotions, because they're catching to other people. So that is the way you can actually make a difference in the world, because you will uplift other people. You watching the news doesn't uplift anybody. If you really feel the need to know what's happening, maybe give yourself a limit of maybe 5 minutes a day to catch up on the headlines. But I actually switched off notifications for BBC News during COVID because it just stressed me out. And every time I heard that ringtone thing coming through and it was the news, I'd be like, oh my God, and my heart would start going. I think, what's happening now? What's going on now? And that still happens when I hear it, because it's on other people's phones and I hear it happening, I think, and I feel that panic. So yeah, it's not good for you. It's not good for you at all. So yes, if you watch the news too much and get really drawn into really sad stories, try and draw yourself out of it, because the reality is it doesn't help that situation. Finally, final tip for the day is to find your passion. Whether it's a career or a hobby, find that thing that really, really lights you up. Gets the butterflies going and makes you feel completely in that flow and lose track of time, where you have no time to worry, no time to stress about things, because you're doing something that you love and that you enjoy. It could be a creative thing like art, it could be writing, painting, baking, exercise again, or it could be that you want to start a new business and you want to throw your energy into that. But find your passion, work out what it is and do it as much as you can. Because yeah, when you get into that state of happy flow, you've got no time for stress. So they're the tips I'm going to give today. That's already been 11 minutes and I wanted it to be 10. So yeah, but like I say, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do with rose-tinted living. I want to help people to live this life and I want to uplift people. So please follow me on the different social medias, whether you're a Facebooker or an Instagrammer. I might even do TikTok eventually, who knows? And I'm writing a book, so eventually I'll get that out, I'm sure, and you can read that and that'll help you as well. But yeah, the very final video is on how I can help you, so watch the final video and yes, put these tips into practice. Okay, thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.